Does it bother us that the feet are cut off? I don't know. Let me just put the feet in.
Feet are disgusting.
What do you mean? Your feet are so cute.
Oh my gosh. As long as you just see the top side, not the bottom side.
Well, the bottom side is
It's the dance side.
it's dance side.
Yeah.
The bottom side is the dance side. Your bottom side of your foot says a lot about you as a dancer.
Right.
Welcome back to the banter.
Thank you.
We've been talking about this for a number of years. We started scheming this kind of thing maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
At least.
And back then, I really had no clear sense of how that could ever happen. It felt so far away. But here we are, proof that dreams do come true.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So I'm coming here for the first time since 8 years ago. That was my last time here. It's been 3 weeks almost since I've arrived. Now you have been here for about the same time this time around, but since the last time you were on this podcast, you traveled the world, literally, not even figuratively. Literally, you've traveled the world dancing tango. And you're back. So what's the biggest thing for you that feels different now in Buenos Aires, now that you've been here, you went elsewhere, and now you're back? Is there anything that stands out to you that's different about this visit specifically?
I'm really tired. I'm very tired. I got here and I was tired, and I think like when you come here, you really need to have your like tango energetic reserves like fully charged. Like your battery has to be very fully charged. Like the moment you land, like you need to just be like, I mean, you don't have to be, but just to get the most out of like the experience. And so when I kind of planned this, it wasn't my best planning moment because I came from kind of like doing a lot of travel. Like I've been consistently on the road since July. So and going kind of many weekend like marathon events in different countries, and then traveling back to the States for a few days and then coming down here. So
that's a lot.
I think, it felt like I landed and I was like, wow, yeah, I feel a little burned out on tango actually. And like,
there is such a thing. There is such a thing as being burnt out on tango. That you found that.
you were telling me that you have actually had tango burnout before as well. And yeah. It's very comforting to me.
Good. No, but I think it's fun to, I guess, hear you say it, because from the outside, I think people look at somebody who travels a lot for tango and they have this perception that there's something in you that you never lose that excitement. That's why you keep traveling, right? But then, yeah, there's a very clear phase that's like, okay, you're just burnt out. Doesn't mean that you're going to stop dancing, but you are burnt out. So since we're opening with that, my next question would be, do you find then, since you're burnt out, is it affecting how much you're getting out of this experience? Like, do you feel like, oh, I wish I wasn't so tired because I know I would enjoy this more? Is that sort of how you're feeling this burnout, or is it something else?
I feel like it took me like 2 to 3 weeks to find my rhythm here. And I kind of blamed that on my previous travel. But then when I look back in my journal, I realized that because this is my 3rd time here in Buenos Aires in the past year.
Yeah.
So
wow. Yeah.
It was actually a very important reflection to see and realize, like, actually every time that has been the case.
That it takes you some time to like.
It takes time. I think actually, I mean, we always think about, coming here, you need to like really spend a long time because you need to make these connections with other people. And you need to learn which milongas you like and which ones you don't, and where the classes are and where fun people are and what you're supposed to do and like the rules for each place. But actually, I think also just for your body and for your health to assimilate to like the type of schedule that they have here, I think took me some time. I mean, how do you feel?
I definitely feel like for me this time, there was a period of adjustment. And I can't say that it just had to do with the physical requirements. There was a lot of emotional stuff that I was moving through that felt like there were times that I just hated being here because I was like, I don't want to feel these things that are there. But on the physical level, I did feel a shift that Monday night, last Monday, which was my kind of a 2.5 week mark when we were out. And prior to that night, every night I had this feeling of like, oh my God, I just want to get to bed. I'm so tired. Why am I out? And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm up and I'm awake and I'm staying out late and I'm at this milonga. I was going to go for like an hour, but then 2.5 hours later, I'm suddenly thinking, wow, this just sort of was so natural. It felt so at ease that I'm here and I'm up so late. And since then it became more of like, not that it feels easy, but there's more of a cadence to it that you don't necessarily notice it as much. It's not such an assault on your system. Um, with my body too, I felt like the first week I was really feeling my joints dancing on concrete and tile. Like it's the worst floors, the worst. Let it be known if you're coming here to dance in Buenos Aires. Yes, you're going to be dancing at some like amazing, iconic venues that have all this history, but the floors are horrendous. And my feet didn't hurt because I danced in flats, but my knees and just my body in general was feeling the impact of that floor, right? But then as the time went on, even that I was like, okay, my body is sort of getting used to it a little bit and it's not so difficult. So it definitely something to consider coming here for sure, that there's this adjustment period. And recently I've met a lot of people who are just here like for 10 days and they're coming here and they're like, I'm just going to go to everything. I'm going to try to pace myself, but I'm going to go to everything. And it's tough when you come for such a short time, but for a lot of people, I mean, that's the only way you can do it. So you just do the best you can.
So do you feel like you've changed your set point? Because I know we both had like a very specific time where it was like, if I go to bed by this time tomorrow, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And if I don't, tomorrow is just, it's a wash. Like I cannot enjoy the day on any level because I'm like a legit zombie.
What is that for you, by the way?
So I feel like it was very solidly like 3. And now it's like 3:30.
It's going up. Eventually, you'll be like, oh,
here it would be like I might get to like 3:45 at some point. I mean, they're like in bed.
Yeah,
like completely in bed. Like everything's done.
Have you done any all-nighters here?
I mean, I feel like the latest I've gone to bed was probably like 4:45.
4:45. But you've never like closed the night at La Viruta at 6:30 a.m. when they're
definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the only appeal of that is like the media luna, which I can't eat. And that's
the same as media luna.
I mean, if they had a gluten-free media luna, I would
honestly
consider it.
I maybe have tried that media luna once.
Really?
Like it's not. Yeah, I've done it. Not
there, and you didn't do it.
I've stayed at La Viruta until the end a few times, and there is something interesting about it because, like, around 4:30 or 5 a.m., they start brewing coffee, and there's the media lunas. And then everybody goes to breakfast afterwards to drink coffee and eat more sugar. And then I have like some of my most treasured memories of walking with a friend at 7 a.m. back home and joking with him. And we're seeing people walk by and we're like, look at those people, they're going to work. Little do they know, we haven't been home yet. Like there's this whole festive feeling of like having had permission to stay up all night and dance and then eat breakfast. And then you're going to go home and sleep until 1 p.m. There are people living this lifestyle here. I've met them. I've talked to them. There's people who live here because they can have this lifestyle here. But for me, this time it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable because, yeah, my set point, my worst night was La Veruta night last week when I went to bed after 4. And the next day, I hated my life for most of the day until the evening. But then I went out to Vija Malcolm, of course, that night, and it was amazing. Because that's how it is, right? That's how it is. That's the thing about this place, too. It's like you can have some of the worst experience that like makes you hurt emotionally and physically and mentally. You can endure all of this stress, and then suddenly it will turn around and there's all this magic. So that night was my only night that I stayed till 4, and I was like, okay, for me, ideally 2 a.m. is the sweet spot. 2 a.m. is like, I didn't really go out last night. I went to bed at 2 a.m. That's how it feels now.
Exactly.
You know?
Like here, if you only go to one milonga, like you've taken a day off.
Yes.
Because you just went to one.
It feels light.
And maybe one class also, but just one.
Yes, it feels very light.
You didn't dance today because you only did one class at one milonga.
Yes.
Because most people have like a stack of at least 3.
Exactly. Yeah. And I almost did that yesterday, and I kind of had to realize that I had permission not to do that. You know, that's the kind of thing that starts happening if you're here long enough. It's like you just get entrained with this pulse of the fever of everyone here and the opportunity to just dance anywhere at any time and there's always more to discover.
Yeah. I feel like they're putting like they're like sprinkling like FOMO in the food. Or like in the air.
There's MSG and then there's FOMO.
Because it just feels like that kind of like all the time. For me, like even if you did the most amazing thing ever or a stack of 3 amazing things, then the next day someone will be like, oh, I didn't see you at this thing.
You missed it.
So great. And it was live music and it was this class with this super famous someone, and like
it was the best class ever.
Yes.
Okay.
They had the best time of their life.
It was the best teacher with the best instruction.
Yes. You missed it. You clearly missed it. Sorry. Maybe next time.
Yeah, it's incessant.
Yes.
You're
like chasing something and you're just chasing and chasing. And then you're like,
never
what
get
am
it.
I even chasing? Like, I don't even know. Like, I went out and I had a good time. Like, at home, I could just go home and I would be happy. And here I'm just like, okay, where's the next one? You know?
And by that point, what that you're describing, that by that point where you're sort of you're not necessarily any more wowed by the experience, because that happens in the first few days when you're like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. It's so romantic. Then you start to get entrained, you get like tired, you become a little bit of a zombie. And there is this phase where it's like, you might not necessarily be getting all that much more from each milonga, but because you're just in this rhythm and there's a satisfaction to being in time with this rhythm in a way, like this whole cadence of us messaging each other in the morning. What are you doing today? Which milonga are you going? I'll see you there. Oh, where are you going to that? Where are you going afterwards? Like, even if I wasn't planning on doing anything, it would require me to say no to 5 different things not to do something, because there's just so much to do while you're here and so much to take in. And of course, there's this feeling of like, I must have as much as I can before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a kid at a candy store, like you were describing that feeling, like you love ice cream, so you're just going to eat as much as you can before you have to stop. And there is a little bit of a conversation internally for me this time. It happened last night where I was like, it's my last Sunday in Buenos Aires. I must go to La Viruta because it's my last night. I have to go to like bow down to the tango gods at the church of La Viruta. But I ended up not going because as I contemplated, and I thought, wait, I just danced for like 5 hours at an afternoon milonga.
I was actually feeling that last night as well. And it was pouring rain. And I only have one pair of sneakers, just one. And they were already like so wet that I was making like wet footprints everywhere. And still, I was considering like, yeah, maybe I should go to La Viruta, even though I never go.
I know you messaged me. You're like, I want dancing. I want more dancing.
And I have no idea what compelled me, but then it was the thought of putting the wet sneakers like back on.
That's it. That's where you drew the line.
That really stopped me, and I could not proceed.
Oh, the other thing that you have to get over, and that might be hard for some people, is being on time. Forget it.
I'm trying to learn how to not
get
be
it.
on time.
When you say that you're going to arrive somewhere, people expect that you're going to be late. Like, I think there's an expectation that it's not going to happen on time. Sure. Similarly, like, you shouldn't really expect that things are going to happen on time. It's just when they do, it's a blessing that you should just accept and celebrate for a moment, because the typical order of things is that whatever one task you have that you think is going to take 15 minutes is probably going to take an hour and a half. Like, that's very common. I went to change money to the same place that I've been going to every time, and it's always been so easy because there's nobody there. This time there was 12 people in line. And then I go to change money somewhere else, and that place doesn't exist, even though it's on the map. Right?
This
like,
is very Buenos Aires.
It's so Buenos Aires. So what has happened to you that's like that?
It's like very Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Well, I did not have a working toilet for a full 24 hours.
Right. Yes.
So that was pretty fun. And I actually figured out, I was like, like, I've been living on the road for pretty much a year, almost. Yeah, just about a year. And like, I could probably deal with like most things breaking, like, and not working correctly. But the toilet?
The toilet is where you draw the line.
Yeah, the toilet, like, I really needed to have a toilet. So yeah, that was a little unpleasant. And
you got stuck on the bus for 2 hours.
I did get stuck on the bus for 2 hours. And it was so funny because the Maps app kept being like, you're going to be there in 5 minutes. And I was like, I don't know which 5 minutes you're talking about. Like, is this like Argentinian 5 minutes? Like, this bus literally, like, I feel like it didn't even go a full block before it stopped. Like, it was like starting to pass blocks.
Wow.
Just miles and miles of this. Finally, I had to get off and just walk, and it was okay. Like, I walked faster.
Do you feel that this kind of experience of being in Buenos Aires specifically and enduring these sorts of situations contributes to your dance? Does this make do you feel that your tango is more authentic by having to endure this city first and then dancing like this? Is there a connection there for you?
I feel like my emotional suffering really helps my dancing. But my physical suffering of having no toilet does not necessarily help my dancing. I have a really interesting view of just like dancing in general and how I feel about dancing because I had like this like really immediate like, dancing in Europe, dancing in Korea, dancing in Europe, and then coming right here and dancing here like all back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was really different, like the feeling of that, like same dance, same music, but totally different place and totally different
Yeah.
people. Although a lot of people from the world are definitely here.
So, but what is the difference? What is the difference for you? Because, yeah, when we were talking about the energy of dancing here and this whole vibe of that feverishness that you're just going to keep going, does that exist in other places?
Like the marathon thing, like it's like this, but it's like a very abbreviated dosage of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're talking like Thursday night through maybe Monday night if there's like after party, but or like Thursday night through like Sunday night where you're just blowing yourself out, just like full on mode, just hour after hour after hour, which is great. And I feel like that's very doable because you have like this kind of like weekend dose of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here, that same energy that I feel like at a marathon, it's here, but just like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also supposed to take classes, which there's no classes in a marathon. So yeah, it does feel very different to me here in like, and maybe it's just for some reason the expectation I have like of myself. Like,
what do you mean?
who is the dancer that I want to be in Buenos Aires? Like, what am I looking to get out of this experience? Because when I go to a marathon somewhere, I am looking to dance with as many people as possible, meet as many people as possible, hang out with friends, have a great time, maybe see the city for like 5 minutes, like, but probably not.
In the car on the way to the milonga.
Exactly. And try to like eat some food at some point, maybe like should be in there. But when I'm here, I think there's also like a very driving force of like this is the place where like you can really make your dancing better. Like all of the tools are here and the people are here, and it's up to you if you really want to take your energy to like dive into like that end of the pool. But the problem is you can't dive into both ends. Like you can't do like a full time like viruta till 6:30 in the morning and then be like, oh, I have 17 classes tomorrow. It just doesn't work because then you actually get nothing. And I feel like there's this constant level of having to choose like, what do I want more? Do I want the experience of dancing at the milonga for the night, or do I want to really try to improve my dancing because like this is the place where I feel I can do that? And I feel like there's never a right decision because whichever one I decide, I feel like unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel about that? Because you've done some classes, you've done some really cool practicas.
I definitely have been much more choosy this time. So when I came here, at first, there was that feeling of like, okay, I have 3 weeks here. I just really have to make it worth my time. And that was a lot of like, okay, don't overcommit. And then it was very much settling on like, okay, this trip is really about this and choosing that. And for me, it became about these practicas with women, which was so interesting to me because when I was coming here, my visualization of the horizon, like how far I could see myself, where I was heading, was this place of being accepted as a dancer on the dance floor at places like La Veruta, to have access to a particular level of dancer in terms of leaders. So I was imagining myself like wanting to dance with specific people. But as the trip got closer, I remember saying to someone, I wonder if I'm going to actually connect with women. And like, it just was not in my conception because so much of my identity around tango had been formed in relation to men. And my value as a dancer was still like based on the approval of men in some way, whether it's their approval of me as a dancer or their approval of me as a student. So I had certain male teachers I wanted to study with, certain male dancers I wanted to dance with. But very quickly, I had the experience of barking up the wrong tree kind of feeling. And it happened I guess, in this very interesting way where my attempt to somehow solidify, concretize some kind of success with men was actually so much more effortful than the ease and the fun and relaxation I was experiencing with the female community here. So very quickly, I started noticing how I felt as a dancer in these different contexts. And that anytime I went to the women's practica, I had more fun. I was more relaxed. I felt better about myself as a dancer. I was incorporating more things. And honestly, I actually like learned in a more robust way for the first time, because my memories of going to classes here is being extremely overwhelmed by information, not being able to retain stuff, learning something, forgetting it. That's been a very common experience. And over the last couple of weeks that I've been attending these practicas, I went to this last one and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I actually remember what I learned on Wednesday. And I attribute it to the culture that this particular teacher has created around herself and the women there, and the seriousness of the women who come. Like, it's not casual. Anybody who is a woman leader coming to Buenos Aires is going to be a serious dancer. It's not going to be like a casual, oh, I just started following and I'm dabbling and leading, kind of energy. So it was very surprising to me. But in this way of like, oh, of course, that's going to be the lesson, that it's a lot of times it's not the thing that you think you're after. And that's fine. That's fine. But just be prepared for that. So for me, if I had continued to push into this other direction, feeling like I still need validation from this other source, it would be much more difficult to be here, and probably more disappointing, and continuously like working hard to make myself better. But actually, by resisting that path and sort of being like, okay, just wait to feel what is really here for you. Like, what are you supposed to do with this trip? Like, what do you want to experience? Then it provided the room for me to actually acknowledge, like, oh, I actually feel better here. So I'll just put all of my energy there. And I've decided these last few days to just spend as much time there as I can, and that also means that I'm going to say no to other opportunities.
I'm curious about your experience in cabaseoing women versus men and
Mm.
how that's been here compared to like doing it in the US. As I see you dancing with both, and I just wonder, like, is it difficult to navigate that? Like, is it difficult to go to try to cabaseo a woman here that you don't know at all?
I've been surprised by how women are ready for a capace from a woman.
Yeah.
Actually, like this whole sentiment that I hear from followers in the US that, like, oh, I don't know, it's hard to tell if it's a woman capace, like that doesn't exist here. Like, women have been so ready to look at me and say no, maybe. I was turned down. I was turned down by a blind woman. Now I have that to add to my list of accomplishments, but that was kind of awesome. But there's this blind woman, and she has a little sign that says that she's blind and that if you want to dance with her, to come up and ask her. And so I came up and asked her because I was like, she's blind. She might enjoy a dance because I don't see her dancing very much. And she turned me down. But she turned me down with a smile. I think it was more like she was so surprised that I asked her, and she was like, no, like big smile beaming. But in general, women have been very willing and open to dancing with me. That's been really cool.
A lot of people also, they know who you are.
Do you think so? I mean, do you think...
I think so, just because they have told me.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that right away. Like when I capaceo, I don't know that they're saying to me because they know me. That might be true, but I have had a woman actually come up to tell me and ask me to capaceo her. And it was a local woman. So that's been a surprise. What else has been a surprise, and I would love your take on it as well, whether this has been surprising to you, is how entitled the men are to ask, to verbally ask. When we're talking about like, oh, the capaceo and how in Buenos Aires everybody follows the tradition, I'm like, it is absolutely not true. It's been multiple verbal asks per night. It's been physical, like, let me grab your hand, let's go dance. And that was a surprise how last time it was bad and it's worse. To me, I feel like it's a total disregard for any tradition that we might think. I might even stop talking about the cabeceo as being a requirement at this point. Like anybody who comes here and thinks that they're going to be required to follow cabeceo, maybe in a traditional milonga in the suburbs, perhaps. But if you go to La Viruta, Vija Malcolm, any of these big venues where all the tourists are, it's a verbal ask most of the time. What's been your experience of that?
I was very excited to see you turn someone down so beautifully.
There's been a lot of no's.
There's been a lot of no's. And I admire this on many levels just because I'm so bad at saying no, especially when I'm traveling. For some reason in the US, I can do it most of the time because I just feel like if the person doesn't know you to verbally ask you, it just feels inappropriate to me. Like if it's a friend, it's different, but like you don't know each other at all, to come up and like extend a hand or do something like grab an arm, like just feels like really off-putting. So I don't have any trouble. Like my personal rule in the US is if someone asks me like that, the automatic answer is no, thank you. And when I'm traveling, for some reason, I just have so much trouble with that. But it was such a nice experience to be like standing behind you when this guy just literally, I mean, you're like totally looking down and he's like hovering over you. Like, do you want to dance? Do you want to dance? And you're just like, no, like he didn't hear you.
That's right.
And
yeah. Cause he was like, this was right after that tanda that I danced with a mutual friend of ours. And this milonguero was like, he was a local milonguero, that was the noteworthy thing. It was my first night in Buenos Aires. We're at this very traditional, what people consider to be very locals dominated milonga. And I'm dancing next to this couple where the milonguero, he's just going in and out of the lane. He's going backwards. He's bumping into us. And right after that tanda, he comes over and stands next to me, extending his hand, expecting to dance. And then he didn't hear me when I said no. So he's thinking I'm just like getting some water and I'm about to say yes and let's go. And so I had to say no twice. And yeah, that experience was like sort of welcome to Buenos Aires. This is the vibe. Like, and I've had to say no so much. The range of reactions that you get when you say no to someone here is really interesting because most of the people that I say no to, they're just shocked. Here, the expectation is that you're desperate to dance. So you're just going to say yes because you're trying to like not sit out a tanda or something. So have you had that experience of like the traditional capaseo? Like, have you gone to milongas here that are a little bit more like we're sticking to the capaseo rule and it's less verbal?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been to Cachirulo a couple of times.
So
I've
catch your
been there. I've been there actually on every trip. And it's a very interesting experience because, and the reason why it's compelling, because it sounds bad, obviously, like the setup, but the dancers are great.
Mhm.
So the dancing level there, I think, is maybe, maybe kind of sometimes the best, actually.
And you're talking about the milonguero. I hear that it's a spot where you could still dance with a lot of the milonguero
Yeah.
locals.
Yes. So lots of local people. I mean, it's always going to be a mix here. And definitely like traditional codes. But some of the dancing, like some of the people that I've met there have been like truly like really incredible dancers, which is why it's compelling to go. But it's like gym class when they pick the teams. And like I was the worst at gym. And I feel like I have a little like gym class PTSD because that's exactly what it feels like because you're just like sitting there and you're waiting for someone to pick you and you're like looking around and everyone can see that you are not getting picked.
Yeah.
And like they're probably really caught up in their own thing out of like them watching you not getting picked, but and them also not getting picked because they're sitting there watching you not getting picked. But I feel like it's just this, yes, it's like very, for me, it's very unpleasant and it's very stressful.
Mhm.
Um, but the dancing is great. And then there's a whole thing about like which seat you have and like were you cool enough and pretty enough to like get a good seat? Did you get there at the right time? Did you enter with your shoes on or not? And like, and sometimes like you follow all of these rules and you still get like sat all the way in the back corner where like no one can see you.
It's an experience worth having at least once to know what it's like,
Definitely.
but it's not necessarily something that you're going to want to seek out as your standard tango experience.
Yeah.
At this point, I know that when we leave is when a lot of times we sort of understand what the trip was about, and like the lessons. But do you have a sense as you're leaving Buenos Aires now, what this trip for you was about? Like, what's the main insight or lesson or awareness that you're taking with you? Because we didn't really talk about this much, but I'm sure it was different than last time. Like every trip to Buenos Aires is like very different. It reflects you as a person, where you're at, your evolution. So, what do you feel for you that you're kind of taking with you this time that is significant?
I think for me, just on a personal level, I'm ready to go home
Mm-hmm.
after being on the road for like almost a year. And I didn't think I would ever say that because I'm very happy in this nomadic travel lifestyle, but I'm ready to find a little stability. And I think from a dance perspective, which has always been something very hard for me to accept, is that not everyone is going to like dancing with you.
Mm.
And that is totally okay. It's like
Mhm.
saying like not everyone likes this food that you think is amazing. And I think for me, like I always see my dancing as something that's very imperfect. And I look at myself and I'm like, if I could only change like all of these things, then like everyone would like dancing with me and everyone would want to dance with me. And it just isn't true.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
this is like a very powerful thing that I need to really like commit to memory
Mm.
moving
Yeah,
forward.
that's a big one. A lot of my insights this time have been about how tango is so contradictory. And people come to tango and then they come to Buenos Aires for the same reasons that people who start doing yoga go to India, is because you see this place as being the birthplace of tango, and you feel like you're going to find answers to what tango really is. You're going to find authentic tango. You're going to really understand what the technique is supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like. But the reality is you get here and everybody you talk to has a very specific understanding of tango that's different. Really, I think the point is that. The point is that tango, no matter how we cut it, is something that's going to persist, and it's going to be very individual. It's going to be extremely different for everyone. And I'm feeling, as I leave, I'm feeling a little bit more confident and more adamant in my own interpretation of tango, because up until now, I think I've had a little bit of this like, well, I don't know where I fit in. I'm neither this kind of dancer and I'm not this kind of dancer. So last time when I was leaving Buenos Aires, I really felt this sense of like, this box is not big enough for me. I don't belong here. I don't have a place here. But this time it's like, oh, wow, you can just make your own box. It's like you make your own box, you make it mean your own thing. You find your own tribe. You can find people who align with your style of dancing, with your way of perceiving it, but don't expect that that is a universal way that everybody else is going to think about tango. So, well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we got to do this again.
Oh my gosh, me too. From Buenos Aires.
From Buenos Aires.